All right, so a couple quick things that we were getting ready to get into, and I was like, crud, I need to record this, about the way the lenders work. So, when your clients, they're going to want to use who they want to use. They're going to want to use their mom, their cousin. They're going to see Rocket Mortgage on the Super Bowl. I mean, they're inundated with who they want to use as a lender. And one of the things that I stress to them typically is that, generally speaking, lenders are very, very much the same as far as the interest rates and the way that things are going to go for them. Of course, there's differences, right? So all lenders are going to take a certain profit margin, which is going to be interest rate, because that's part of their profit. They're going to have different costs associated with creating the loan, origination fees, and these things. They're going to have different point structures if they want to buy down their rates. There's definitely profit built in, and companies can do whatever they want. But what a lot of people are doing is they're shopping around, and the differences are going to be so small, and they're not even going to understand them if they're not careful, right? So they're going to shop for this rate. And they're going to send out, they're going to go, well, we're going to do Rocket Mortgage, and we're going to do Fairway, and we're going to do Ruoff, and we're going to do Chase Bank, and we're going to do our mom's bank where she works at Community Bank, whatever. And then they're going to go, well, you know what, let's just go to lendingtree.com, and they're going to lendingtree.com and hit go. And now 47 people have pulled their credit. And they were a 750 when they started, and now they're a 670. Okay, so that's one issue that I see occasionally happen. I had one guy that was a conventional loan, full on, totally fine, and then he literally killed his credit score, so he couldn't even get the conventional loan he could have because he was so busy worrying about $3 a month in interest that he now has to pay all these extra fees and be an FHA loan and blah, blah, blah. So that's one issue with shopping around too much. Although, go shop around, go to your bank. Sometimes I tell them, go to your bank, go to somebody you want, that's fine, but then go to Fairway. Because I don't care if you have two options, that's fine, that's not going to hurt you. But don't go shopping around like a crazy person. It looks like you can't get a loan, and so your credit score starts dropping big time. But the way the lenders generally make money, and I'm not a lender and I'm not a pro at this part of it, but generally they're making money on their markup for interest rate, right? The government sets a certain percentage for prime, and then they're going to do prime plus or prime minus or whatever they're going to do, and they're going to get some profit there. And then when they sell the loan, they're going to recoup some of that profit right there with the way they sell it to an investor. So they're working on points, interest rate, all these things to make the loan appealing to an investor. So interest rates, though, in general, are going to be very similar. And the reason they're so similar is because if you're doing a lot of business as a company and you're constantly ripping people off an interest rate, guess what? You're not going to be doing a lot of business. So interest rates are going to be very similar. If you see a very big discrepancy, this is what I'm telling clients all the time. If you see a really big discrepancy, you need to start asking some real questions. If some online lenders like, we can do 1.99%, and all the other lenders are telling you they're going to do 4%, there's something wrong, right? There's something goofy going on there. So the key is to figure out, well, what are they doing to get that rate? Because 1.99 or 2% is a big difference from everybody else, which is over here at 4%. I'm not seeing anybody at 2%. So why are you at 2% and nobody else in the entire world is at 2%? Well, what they go to find out is they just got charged $10,000 worth of points. So the lender goes, hey, oh, absolutely. That payment on that house is going to be this much, and we can get you rated at 2% and da-da-da-da. All to find out that you show up a week before closing and realize they charged you $10,000 in extra stuff to get that low payment because of that low rate. So if that happens and they didn't fully explain it to you, run, because that is a sign that the lender is trying to pull one over on you. They're trying to make a huge profit margin. So actually a super low rate that's out of the ordinary, that's not fully explained how we got there, is actually scary to me, because it didn't just give you the best deal in the world compared to the other 4 million people, right? So interest rates are going to be very the same, and if you do find one out of the ordinary, check your points, check your payments. Origination costs are going to vary dramatically sometimes. When I say dramatically, like It might be $1,000 on the high end of how we're going to adjust. But depending on what lender you call, they may be in control of that at a level where they can set profit margins and hide things. I don't know if you've ever been to a car dealership, but pay attention if you're thinking about buying a car. When you go to buy a car and you're going to trade one in, they're going to give you something called a trade allowance. And what they're doing is they're combining the price of the new car and the price of your trade. They're not going to walk up and say, we will give you, the value of your trade is $2,500. And then we're going to sell you your new car for $50,000. They're going to kind of mix the waters up and go, well, great news. We can get you into the new vehicle at, blankety blank, 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 minus a trade allowance equals, and they're going to give you a bottom number. Well, the funny part is that trade allowance could be a mixture of discounting the new car and giving you a price for the old car. So you don't really know what they're valuing your trade at or what you're buying the new car at. They're blending it all together in such a way that makes you go, okay, $450 a month, I can afford it, bought. You have no idea that they just sold you a car over sticker value and gave you, a little bump on your trade. So it's always good to negotiate everything separately. How much are you giving me for my trade? $2,500. No, I want $3,000. It's worth $3,000. Well, we were going to give you 20. You negotiate that, and then you can go, okay, new car, $50,000. I want to pay 48, and you negotiate that separately. If not, you're going to end up blending them, and you're going to not really know what you're paying, and you're going to actually pay more than you expected in most cases. Same goes with loans. Let's talk about these fees. Let's talk about interest rate. Let's talk about points. Let's talk about origination costs. Let's talk about, do you mark up your appraisals? Let's talk about these things. This is why, if you tell your client all of this, they're going, I just want a loan. And I say, precisely. That's why I'm telling you to call Fairway. Because if you don't just call Fairway and do what we say, you're going to have to worry about all of this, because I don't know who you're talking to. I don't know what they're doing to you. I don't know what they're taking from your pocketbook. I know Fairway, they don't get paid on hiking interest rates. They get paid on closing loans. So even if they could hike the interest rate, they wouldn't, because then you're going to go for the other people, right? So they don't play games. They don't do all this stuff. It's just, here's what it is. And you're going to go back to Fairway and go, well, so-and-so said they'll give me this, will you? And he'll say no, and he won't call you back. Why? I'm not negotiating with people. I know we offer the best product. You go to St. Elmo's and try to ask for a discount on their steak, right? Not going to happen. They're like, eat our steak, don't eat our steak. Go fly a kite. We're selling plenty of steak, right? So similarly, not because they're mean, and similar to the way I work and I value my time and my skill set and my ability to help you, I'm not selling houses for free. I don't need to. I'm selling plenty of houses at, a list price of 3% for my side. That's what it's worth. So take it or leave it. It's okay. And similar with them, their product is so good. At the end of the day, your service is good. The technology is good. The people are kind. They have teachers' hearts. They will explain things. I tell our clients consistently, just tell Austin and his team how much money you have to spend, and he will help you figure out the best way to spend it. So I've got $50,000. Should I put more down? Should I buy my interest rate down? Should I prepay my PMI? Should I keep it in my bank account and invest it in the stock market? He will help you think through the strategies on how to make a short-term win, a long-term win. Do we want more cash, or do we want a better rate? All these different things. But I trust them, and I can promise you your experience is going to be good. And I also would say that lending is never fun. It's just, there's no fun, and then there's even less fun. And we're going to go for just the no fun version. We don't want it to be any worse than it has to be, but it's never going to be like a party. So it's getting, killed by 1,000 paper cuts at best. But the goal is here to make it less worse. And so that's why I say Fairway. They close quickly. We are partnered with them, not financially in the sense that I don't get paid for your clients to use Fairway. You don't get paid for your clients to use Fairway. We get paid when we close houses. Fairway close houses, so it's good for us. Our people want a house. Fairway closes houses, so it's good for our client. And then it's also obviously good for Fairway because they make money when they close loans. Anyway, that's why Fairway. I'm confident in the experience and I'm confident in the honesty, and there is no games. Never, never, never. Austin and his team do not have time to play games. That's why they don't negotiate with you. It's CarMax. Come buy the car or don't buy the car. We're not haggling over the price. We are already priced well. Our rates are good. We have a great customer experience. If you don't want those things, go somewhere else. And you'll find bad experiences, high rates, games being played, and your loan closing late and you losing the deal. We've got one right now that Austin could have closed in 14 days if he wanted to, if the client did everything they're supposed to. But we're at 30 plus days and they're still looking at 2 weeks late. So partly probably client stuff, partly probably the lender, but it's a great example of what happens. I can tell you beyond a shadow, I can tell you with honesty, I think I mentioned this earlier in a video, we've missed one house with Austin in 4 years. One time a house that should have closed didn't. And that was a client problem. The client would not turn in a document, like legitimately just put their foot down and wouldn't turn in a document. And I was like, okay, well, tough cookies. It's not my rule. It's the government or it's whatever, the insurance companies or whoever's rule it is. So there's a lot going on in lending, and that's my kind of long spiel on why shopping for a lender is not helpful. Now, there are absolutely deals out there to be had occasionally. Sometimes a local bank will have a deal going on where they'll pay you $1,500 towards your closing costs. Okay, cool. Just check the rest of it. And if it's great, then good, close it. But remember that the seller of the house you're trying to buy doesn't care about the benefits you're getting with your local bank. They want to know that the deal is closing. And you may be all worried about getting this little benefit from the bank or from Rocket Mortgage or from somebody that nobody likes, and you miss the house. You miss the big picture, which is buying the house, because you were so worried about getting that $500 credit. And at the end of the day, had you gone with Fairway, of course you wouldn't have the $500 credit, but you'd have the house, which is a bigger deal, right? It's the forest for the trees concept, and we sometimes miss the big picture for the small one. So I'm not saying there's never a better financial deal out there, but the total package, in my opinion, there's a reason I've been working with Austin since 2010 or 11, because he closes houses and he's done a ton of my personal loans, and it's always not terrible, which is the best I could ask for when it comes to getting a loan. It's like going to the doctor. The goal is that it's not terrible. It's never going to be great. So that's my loan. Just a little excess here. One, our clients can do whoever they want. We're going to love them anyway. We just talked about that. We're going to love you through it. But when it goes wrong, there's going to be a really big I told you so moment there. I'm not going to say I told you so, but you're going to call me and go, Eli, we should have just gone with your lender. And I'm going to say, yes, we should have. However, let's just keep plugging away. We'll figure this out. We're going to work hard. I just can't guarantee your experience if you go with somebody else. Now, Fairway, we just got asked, are they a direct lender? Yes, they lend their own money, which brings up another point. When you're going to a broker, there's a bunch of them around, and they're not bad people. It's not a problem. We're brokers, right? We're connecting two people. I'm saying here's a buyer, here's a seller, and I'm in the middle, and I'm connecting these two people. That's great. There's a service and a reason for that. When it comes to lenders, same thing. A broker is saying, here's the guy with the money, here's the guy that needs the money, and they put them together. The part that makes it tough for lending is you got people that are already shopping for best rates and cheap prices, and they're worried about all this stuff. Then you insert a broker in the middle. All that is more money, more headaches, worse client experience generally, because my experience with most brokers is they don't manage the transaction as well. And so then you've got a buyer who hands stuff to the broker, and then the broker hands stuff to the lender. Yeah. Well, it's a big game of telephone. I whispered, I like ducks, in your ear, and 25 people later, what did the guy at the end of the line say, right? You got 25 people lined up, and I say, hey, let's see how this, I like ducks. By the time we get to the 25th person, it doesn't say I like ducks anymore, does it? So it's important to make sure that we can try to communicate directly with that lender, and we eliminate this. What if he misses an email? Well, then the lender never gets the document, right? Big problems. And it costs more. So they're shopping for this great rate, which is good. And I'm not saying this is always true in every scenario. I'm just saying in general, logically, I've got a guy shopping for a good rate, but then I'm added cost in the middle. So that great rate is now negated potentially, right? So just be careful with brokers, but Fairway's a direct lender. They lend their own money. They sell probably 90% of their loans, but who cares? All that does is change the address you mail your payment to, but it's going to sell before you make your first payment. But almost every lender sells their loans. There's not very many servicers out there compared to people that loan money. But any other questions or thoughts?
Any other commercial lender?
Commercial lender, I have those connections. I've got, I can't think of all the names right now, but I've got a couple commercial lenders. They're local. Local is great for commercial lending because they like to look at the deal, right? A commercial lender is going to be more about the deal. And that's the only way I can say it. They're going to look at the commercial property, the income from the property, the future of the property, all of that, and make a decision. They look less at the person. Home lending is 90% the person and 10% the property. Commercial is the other direction. It's 90% the property and the deal and 10% about the person borrowing the money. Because the commercial lender wants to make sure that it's an income asset versus like a liability, if you will, or an intrinsic asset.
What about land?
Land loans are different too. So there's a couple different land lenders around here that I do like. One I can't think of right now. One is Forum. Fairway might do it, but most people are looking for lower down payments on land, and Forum seems to have the lowest land. What's that? Forum Credit Union. Okay. Yep, they tend to have the best land loan around. Okay. Yeah. That's historically speaking, the past few years, it could change at any time.
But probably any credit union.
There's a lot of people that will lend on land locally. Yep, local land lenders. Yep, it's just higher down payments. I mean, you might see as high as 30% required, 25% required. Forum, I believe, is only 15%. And then there's going to be other rules. How soon do you have to build your house? How big can the land be? They're going to have some rules like that. So that also factors in. I think Forum is long time, 7 years or no requirement to build.
Really?
Yes, which is great. Some people are like, you have to build within a year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Right. And that's why Forum is the best total package, in my opinion, based on what I've seen. I haven't seen them all, but
that's incredible.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a commercial land. It's a
residential.
Land,
yep,
right?
Forum Credit Union is residential land.
Yeah,
commercial land would be the same commercial guy I would send you. His name's Mike. I'd give it to you. I can't think of his last name right now. Mike. He's local, down in Franklin. So, all right.